EOIs launched. PAC probes millions spent on drugs that are not accounted for. Charge dismissed against businessman accused of selling fake HIV testing kits. And we are not out of danger, Dr. Anthony reminds COVID still circulating. Now for the news in detail. The government of India has said it remains committed to supporting the strengthening and development of Guyana's army through the provision of training opportunities for local soldiers. Here is Amar Prasad with our lead story tonight.
During an exclusive interview with the Evening News on Wednesday, Indian High Commissioner to Guyana, Dr. KJ Srinivasa, revealed that in 2021, his government provided 19 scholarships to the members of the Guyana Defence Force.
We are also now started working very closely with your Guyana Defence Forces from last year. We gave 19 slots, 19 scholarships to Guyanese Defence Forces last year for various, for the Army, the Coast Guard and the Air Force. Military scholarships. The people go to India, to the corresponding academies in India.
In fact, the Indian diplomat said they have just finished training one of the GDF's Army Major, who will then share his knowledge with the troops back in Guyana.
We just finished training Army Major, the Guyana Defence Forces Major, in the UN peacekeeping forces. It's called the Train the Trainer programs. I understand Guyana has never participated in the UN training. So we have now trained a Guyanese officer to train the troops here, so that next opportunity comes for Guyana to go on a UN peacekeeping mission, they can actually go.
The Indian High Commissioner noted that so far, 10 of these 19 persons have completed their courses, while 2 more persons have just left for India. Apart from these 19 scholarships, Commissioner Srinivasa disclosed that 28 more scholarships will be offered to the GDF this year.
We believe that those 19 courses will be completely subscribed. Apart from that, seeing the good response to this last year, from middle of this year to next year, the Government of India has now offered fresh 28 more slots to the Guyanese Defence Forces. This is a symbol of the growing collaboration and cooperation between India and Guyana, because India is the 3rd largest military power in the world, and we have advanced forces in whatever you take it, the Army, the Air Force and the Navy. We are very good in that. So we believe in sharing that training with our friendly countries across the world. It's part of our South-South cooperation.
In addition to the special military training, the High Commissioner reminded that members of the GDF and other Guyanese have benefited from the Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation Program provided through the Indian High Commission in Guyana. For the Evening News, Amar Prasad.
Works are moving apace with the much-anticipated CORENTYNE River Bridge, as a contract was signed today in Suriname for several preliminary studies and researches to be conducted. Additionally, the Guyana and Suriname Ministries of Public Works also launched the expressions of interest for the construction of the bridge over the CORENTYNE River, connecting the two nations. Vanu Manikchand reports.
The governments of Guyana and Suriname have already decided on a build, design, finance, operate and maintain model for the CORENTYNE River Bridge that will be constructed via a public-private partnership arrangement. On Wednesday, Public Works Minister Juan Edgell led a delegation from his ministry to Suriname for the signing of a contract for the feasibility study and design of the bridge, which he said is a milestone for the project. He added that the launch of the expression of interest is also reflective of both governments' commitment towards achieving a quality bridge across the CORENTYNE River as early as possible.
With the launching of the expression of interest today, we hope to invite the best firms from around the world to become involved and engage in the building of the CORENTYNE Bridge as to advance our joint infrastructure development agenda. The citizens of Guyana and Suriname must be satisfied that their governments are committed to the comprehensive development of this space.
The contract for the preliminary studies and researches was awarded to WSP Caribbean to the tune of US $2 million. The company will conduct studies such as technical, pre-design, environmental, and economic, as well as produce a few research reports. According to Surinam's Public Works Minister Riyad Nur Mohammed, a lot of work has been done to get to this stage and fast-track the project.
We hope that before the end of the year we can perhaps start with some pre-work. You know, if we have selected a good company in time, can be that we can start earlier. If not, it will be for sure at the beginning of the first, quartile 2023.
The Corentyne River Bridge is expected to be a high bridge running approximately 3 kilometers and will run from Molson Creek in Guyana to South Drain, Suriname, with a landing on Long Island in the Corentyne River, where a commercial hub and tourist destination will be established. The priority of the bridge across the river has been much touted by both Presidents Dr. Irfan Ali and Chan Santoki. It will not only link the two neighboring countries, but also open up access to greater economic opportunities in other nations in South America. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manakchand.
The Public Accounts Committee today probed millions that were spent on drugs and medical supplies by the Region 3 administration, which could not be accounted for at the time of the 2017 Auditor General's report. Here are the details from Gerald Bryan.
Officials from the Region 3 Regional Administration, including Regional Executive Officer Jack Narayan Samwar and his predecessor Dennis Jaikaran, appeared before the PAC on Wednesday. During the hearing, PAC member Dr. Vishwa Mahadio questioned them on the Auditor General's findings in his 2017 report. Mahadio pointed out that $60.4 million was spent on drugs and medical supplies by the regional administration. However, voucher examinations revealed that $4.1 million worth in drugs and medical supplies purchased that year could not be traced to the goods received.
Could REO say whether the missing payment vouchers were located and what systems are now in place to prevent such occurrence again?
At this point in time, what we have now in place is that we have a goods received book in place. Before that, there were no book, or if they were, we could not have found it. So we have that in place, and that would have been able to correct the situation from then.
It was also found that 9 payment vouchers totaling $10.4 million to purchase drugs and medical supplies could not be located. Thus, these documents were not presented to the Auditor General for the audit. Mahadio questioned if these vouchers were ever found. It was subsequently clarified by the storekeeper that they were able to locate the full amount in payment vouchers from the Sub-Treasury. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News.
Contractors executing 2 river defense projects on the east bank of Berbice have reportedly been removing earth from an access dam to execute the projects, turning the dam into a swamp. The project is being executed in the Enfield New Doe Park Neighborhood Democratic Council. Our Berbice correspondent Andrew Carmichael reports that farmers now cannot take their tractors into the backlands, posing a threat to millions of dollars of produce.
About 4 feet in height of the dam, which was about 15 feet in width, has been excavated. More than 100 feet has already been removed, an estimated 900 tons of earth. Sections of what was a main access dam for farmers on the east bank of Berbice and the Lonsdale Sisters Village area have now become a swamp. The river defense is being carried out by the Civil Defense Commission, CDC, under the Public Works Ministry, with the Enfield Noodle Park, NDC, overlooking it. Farmers are pointing an accusing finger at a senior official of the NDC, saying that it is a clear case of corruption, as a family member of the NDC official has been employed to record the amount of earth being removed. When contacted, Chairman of the Enfield Noodle Park, NDC, Wajab Khan, said permission was granted by the local government ministry to sell the overburden from the dam for the river defense project. However, Local Government and Regional Development Minister Nigel Dharamlal said his ministry did not grant any permission, but rather referred the NDC to the Region 6 RDC which has since said it did not grant any permission. Farmers are calling for the Agriculture Ministry to intervene since they now cannot access farmlands with their machinery. Even as this is happening, farmers say there is also a need for another dam to be rehabilitated. One of the farmers is Diolal Sukdio of Brothers Village, a rice and cash crop farmer who has been farming for over 40 years. He says he has to fetch his plantains, sweet potatoes, edos, peppers and cassava for about 1,000 feet to his tractor before he can bring them out. Sahadio is calling for an audit of the earth removed from what was a dam.
I do 6 bypass and I get a piece meter here. And we still a plan farm. We get 6 acre farm in there. Now presently, and this one I get 6 acre, that is 12 acre. No dam, nothing. I want them to know that how much money from the dirt NDC getting. That is an audit pan here. I'm not afraid, I not tell life for nobody. Things there for sure. Then I remove dirt there, overburden. Now I block the dam. How farmers must come for going in their farm? Look, this dam condition. This dam supposed to go 1,000 rod. Look this dam condition. Tractor can't drive, you can't even walk.
Meanwhile, local government minister Nigel Daramla has called for the auditors to be called in. Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
Coming up, Upper Corentyne farmers frustrated over constant theft of cattle, and Guyana, Nigeria commit to collaborate in military defense other areas. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Our virtual Chick Chick game today and get a chance to win big. With over 450 draws, 3 dices, and 52 bet types to choose from. You can also be a winner with SuperBet. Visit www.superbet.gy or any one of our agents closest to you. Play responsibly. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 18 years and over.
It happens. Your septic tank is full. All the waste from your toilet goes into your septic tank through the sewage line. When your tank is full, the 2 most common indicators are an overflowing tank and an overflowing toilet. It is recommended that Sevon's Waste Management empty your septic tank every 2 to 3 years to avoid any embarrassment. And before you can say, shh, it's gone. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455 or 218-1156.
At John Lewis Styles, we carry only first quality men's and women's clothing, footwear, and accessories. As authorized dealers, our items come directly from the manufacturing brands and are available in all sizes and colors. What we sell was never on display in another store. It's time you know the truth about what you buy. Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. The charge brought against a pharmaceutical supplier who was accused of selling fake HIV testing kits to the Health Ministry was today dismissed. Devendra Rampersad, the former area manager for Caribbean Medical Supplies, was on trial before Magistrate Zamila Ali Sipal in the Leonora Magistrates Court. He had pleaded not guilty to the charge, which stated that on January 16, 2020, he sold and supplied 400 units of Unigold HIV test kits with misleading representation to the Materials Management Unit in contravention of the Food and Drug Act, Chapter 3403, Part 5, Section 18(1) of 1971. The court upheld the no-case submission by the defendant's lawyer, agreeing that the prosecution failed to prove the essential elements of the offense. It was also found that the prosecution failed to establish that the court had jurisdiction to hear the matter and failed to lead sufficient evidence to show that the defendant had imported the test kits. When the fake devices were discovered, they were seized by the government analyst Food and Drug Department. Caribbean Medical Supplies had previously denied knowingly supplying expired goods and had also claimed to have thoroughly vetted their Kenyan supplier. We now tell you that cattle farmers on the Upper Corentyne are at their wits' end over the continuous theft of their animals. Our Berbice correspondent Andrew Carmichael spoke to one of those frustrated farmers and filed this report.
82-year-old Harry Prasad Angad, a rice and cattle farmer of number 64 village, Corentyne, says he has 250 heads of cattle. According to him, on several occasions, cattle have been stolen and slaughtered in the back dam. On Wednesday morning, he was told that 3 were missing from his ranch at number 62 village.
Me get this buyer look after me cow, me workman. This morning already me the home. 5:30 my phone ring. He called me, said, boss, 2 of the cow, 3 cow now missing from the pen. The cow in the pen, nothing in the cow. The rest cow there. He take the horse and they look around and search.
This morning, when me come in there, me see in front of the side of the gate, the main gate, me see the wire cut. And right away, me call the boss and tell him, well, me see the wire cut because the last trip with the man, thief the cow, the man me cut for the same spot. When me go down and check cow there, me see 3 cow gone in the pen.
How many heads of cattle they had in the pen?
Yeah, about 100 head.
And you could just tell that 3 are missing?
Yeah, 3 missing.
How you can know that so easy?
But that me job, me know the cow.
Farmers in the community say cattle go missing fortnightly and sometimes body parts are discovered in the savannas. Most of these instances, they say, are reported to the police. Some believe the perpetrators are not from the community.
Early last year, the common thief, 1 steer, 1 cow, 2 head. Slaughtered the cow, left the guts and the foot and so on and carry the carcass. The man have to go for milk and cow. Don't cow in a pen. Cow broken. The cow all moved upon the pen and 2 cow missing. I find them 2 cow. The bare foot left on the guts. Early last year. Then 2 weeks ago, my sister's son of mine cow was near me there. He caught 1 big steer thief out, a big animal, value of over 200 head, $200,000. And one other cow, 2 head of cow, and the same very spot, one killed me cow here now last night, then killed he cow 2 weeks ago.
Angad, who returned to Guyana to farm, explained that at one time he reared sheep, but thieves left him with none.
I'm always a thief. Me mind sheep. Me get 106 head sheep. All thief out. Time after time. So we all finish. No sheep left. No the cow now.
Did you have to sell the rest of sheep or just
no, all thief out, none left. Even in New York, I try to get citizen. So I get me citizen and I come to live in Guyana. And now I look after the cow and cow thief.
Angad says other farmers in the Upper Corentyne region experience these challenges, and he is calling on authorities to do something about the situation. For the Evening News, Andrew Carmichael.
Of the 7 murders which occurred in Region 7 so far for the year, most have already been solved. Find out more in this Amar Prasad report.
According to the commander of Region 7, Superintendent Dion Moore, 6 of the 7 murders which have occurred in the district so far have already been solved. He said most of the murders in his region occur in the mining districts.
The aspect of crime mostly for the years thus far, we see an increase in murders, and these murders occur in mostly mining areas, not the areas where farming occur or logging occur, mostly because some people, for the want of more funds and greed and different things, they tend to have these kind of murders, domestic and what have you. Notwithstanding the fact that you find in the mining areas, people tend to imbibe a lot in terms of consumption of alcohol, as far as they earn, they spend, and the mindset there. Many times when you have discourse with those persons through community outreaches, you realize that argument often come about because of alcohol and the consumption of alcohol to an extent that you don't really have control over yourself.
Meanwhile, the commander related that he is focused on the police's strategic plan to tackle these issues, which involve more community outreaches and partnerships.
Our crime prevention strategy range from a whole host of strategic activities that we're conducting in the region. We venture out in the region on patrols in those same areas where we would recognize that crimes are committed. At the end of every week, at the end of every fortnight, at the end of every month, we look at our policing posture, look at where crimes are being committed, using the temporal analysis, and that will point us in the direction where crimes are occurring. And then we will go into those areas and have communication with the persons who are dwelling there.
Furthermore, the commander related on their tactics to solve the region's most recent murder, the murder of 27-year-old Noel Anthony Fredericks, a minor of mainstay Wayako Village, Essequibo Region 2. The man, who was employed with a mining camp located at Turuparu, Bactam, Lower Peruni River, Region 7, was on April 14 reported missing, only to be later found in a shallow grave on April 27.
We received a report of a missing person, but like everything else, we did not just see it as a missing person. We mobilized a team, a search team, and we ventured out. And within 2 days, we were able to narrow down to the last person who he was seen with. And that last person, Quincy Shepard, who is now a suspect, point us to the direction and allow us to retrieve the body where he had dumped the body. Of course, with intense investigation, the team of ranks that we have, they are working pretty hard. I must give credit to them, right? They are a good team, and because of the skill set that they have, they were able to solve that murder. The suspect initially was denying, but after intense investigation and grilling, he eventually told us a story.
For the evening news, Amar Prasad.
President Dr. Irfan Ali today accepted the letters of credence from the non-resident High Commissioner of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to Guyana, which both nations committed to enhance cooperation in a number of areas, including agriculture, military defense, air travel, and renewable energy, among others. More in this Vanu Manikchand report.
After receiving the accreditation at State House on Wednesday, President Dr. Irfan Ali told the diplomat that Guyana is committed to further enhancing bilateral relations with Nigeria in a number of areas, especially on food security.
Guyana is collaborating with CARICOM Secretariat and will be hosting an Agri Investment Conference and Expo later this month. I look forward to your attendance, which can aid in identifying specific areas of agricultural cooperation and investment. We also look forward to continued exchanges between our defense forces, as well as for the possible signature of the negotiated bilateral air services agreement. Such an agreement will aid in the expansion of our trade relations with Nigeria, an area which our two countries have already begun to embark upon. And it will also help to create vital connections on a regional and international scale.
Moreover, President Ali noted that as oil-producing nations, Guyana and Nigeria can share experiences and explore avenues for economic security. Meanwhile, the newly accredited non-resident High Commissioner of Nigeria to Guyana, Abubakar Danlami Ibrahim, welcomed plans to advance ties between the two countries and spoke of opportunities to collaborate in new areas.
There is a need for our countries to collaborate and diversify our economies into new areas of mutual interest for the benefit of our people. As part of this diversification plan, the government of President Muhammadu Buhari is open to new areas of interest in Nigeria. With your kind permission, Your Excellency, I intend to meet with the official of the Guyana Energy Agency, tourism industry, trade and commerce, explore other areas of mutual interest to create avenues where both private and public sector come together to share information, ideas, and partnerships.
President Ali has already committed to facilitating these meetings between the Nigerian diplomat and key players in local industries. Guyana and Nigeria established formal diplomatic ties nearly 4 decades ago in 1976. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manakchand.
Although the Guyana government, as well as other territories around the world, have relaxed restrictions that were put in place when the pandemic started, Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony has expressed concerns about the complacency of Guyanese, warning that dangers of the life-threatening virus still exist. Luanda McAllister tells us more.
For weeks, Guyana has been recording low cases of new COVID infections and hospitalizations, with the hospitals being free of infected patients for several consecutive days. However, those numbers have slightly risen, triggering discussions on whether the COVID restrictions will return. Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony says the situation is dynamic. However, government is not currently considering reinstituting the COVID measures.
It's a very dynamic process. So at times you would have reduction in cases, and then at times if we see cases going up, then of course we'll have to revisit the public health guidelines to make sure that people are protected. At this moment, we are not contemplating that here in Guyana because our caseload is relatively low. As of today, we have 92 active cases. And over the last 24 hours, we would have recorded 32 new cases. That's a little bit on the high side. We haven't seen that in a couple of weeks, but we keep monitoring.
Nevertheless, the health minister criticized what he considers an attitude of complacency from the public.
I think Guyanese have generally gone into a complacent mode. We feel that we don't need to get vaccinated. We are not seeing a lot of people coming to our vaccination centers, but we are not out of dangers yet. And if you look around the world, you're seeing these problems. They haven't gone away. So we have to be mindful, and one good way of protecting yourself is to make sure that you get vaccinated.
To date, 440,550 persons, or 85.9% of the adult population, have received a first dose vaccine, while 339,855, or 66.3%, received 2 doses. For the 12 to 17 age category, 34,566 first doses were administered, while 25,294 second doses were given out. When it comes to booster doses, Dr. Anthony is also disappointed with the low turnout for the vaccines.
We keep repeating this over and over and over. We are not seeing a lot of people coming to get booster shots, but this is very important. So as of yesterday, we have had 62,769 persons who have received their booster shots.
Luanda McAllister for the Evening News.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge is expected to be closed on Thursday, May 5th at 4 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berries River Bridge is expected to be closed on Thursday, May 5th, 2022 at 6 hours 5 for a period of 1.5 hours.
Let's now take a look at the local stock exchange market compliments of GASI. Cycling, Griffith delighted over recent Burpees win, and Guyana launches FIFA F4S program. Details of these stories and more in the Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
Wash bay operators, are you looking for that unique service to elevate your business? Well, come on down to your #1 industrial store, Sylvie's, and invest in an undercarriage pressure washer tool. That's right, impress your customers by now washing under their vehicles easy and efficiently with an undercarriage tool. We have in stock different types that offer a wider range of services and can increase your revenue without having to invest in expensive ramps. Your customers are going to leave satisfied. So what are you waiting for? If you can't make it to our 31 High in Hatfield Streets location, we can deliver in and around Georgetown. Give us a call on 227-6226 or WhatsApp us on 623-7755 or visit our website sylviesonline.com. Sylvie's Industrial Solution, proudly serving Guyana for over 4 decades.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Satco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store, located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rheinveld.
At John Lewis Styles, we carry only first quality men's and women's clothing, footwear, and accessories. As authorized dealers, our items come directly from the manufacturing brands and are available in all sizes and colors. What we sell was never on display in another store. It's time you know the truth about what you buy. Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles, simply different.